Welcome to Wellspace Counseling. My name is Jason Wilkinson, and with everything that's going on, the changes that's taking place, the guidelines to masks or no masks, it can all feel really confusing and it feels really out of control. Like, what control do we have over this situation? So I want to talk or give you some ideas on what happens to us, or what are some typical responses that maybe people have when they feel like things are out of control and they're dealing with that negative self-talk of out of control. One response that people typically will have to that negative self-talk of out of control is anxiety. Anxiety increases in times when we feel like we don't have any control and it feels a little chaotic. Response number two that people will have with that negative self-talk of out of control is typically anger. Maybe a level of frustration or anger, emotional anger that just kind of overflows because it just feels like, well, what do I do? Response number three that people will have due to that negative self-talk of things are out of control is overwhelmed. Just feeling overwhelmed by all the things that are coming in. It just feels like it's so much, too much, and it feels so heavy on us, and that we get that sense of overwhelmed. Response number four that people have when dealing with that negative self-talk of out of control is they withdraw or they shut down. Really, that overwhelm is so much that they feel like there's nothing else they can do. They feel like just stuck and trapped, and so they just shut down. They don't know what else to do. Response number five that people typically have when dealing with that negative self-talk of out of control is they get critical or negative about what other people are doing or how they're not able to control the outcome or control the situation. So it gets negative. Response number six that people typically have when dealing with that negative self-talk of out of control is they escape, or they look for an addiction. Don't really look for an addiction, but they participate in some sort of addiction, whether that's video games, whether that's drugs, whether that is alcohol or social media. Usually they find something in order to escape the reality because it just feels out of control, it feels chaotic. These are some responses that people typically have to that negative thinking or that negative messages, self-messages of that negative self-talk of out of control. You can find more tips and ideas at the blog www.wellspacepdx.com. You can go there to find tips on communication and marriage, how to help people or how to manage anxiety for yourself and emotionally regulate, as well as how to help or deal with negative self-talk.